you have an update for us. What's the latest?
Yes, Toli, the meeting has just concluded between the unions involved in the Clover strike, management of Clover and the Department of Trade and Industry. What we have seen over the last 9 weeks is a strike by the workers from Clover for restructuring within the company, job losses, salary cuts, and the changing of trading hours from 9-hour shifts through to 12-hour shifts as well. These were just some of the points of contention which were being discussed this afternoon here at the Department of Trade and Industry in Pretoria. Joining me right now is Mr. Seibe from the General Allied Workers Union. Mr. Seibe, thanks very much for your time today. What exactly took place and what came out from today's meeting?
Well, we had a meeting, as I said earlier on, it was with delegation of Clover, with, led by the CEO, and of course government. We have an executive director here of IDC, but also membership of the management of DTI and so on, as well as leadership of the union. Now, obviously, today we were putting forward our position, but also beginning to get to the concrete details of what sort of, for instance, bailout of workers in a context of closing factories would actually entail. But also, how do we really prevent job losses? What are the implications in terms of rents and cents, and how to go about it, as well as what are the implications of restructuring without austerity measures and restructuring at the expense of the workers. So all of that we put in details, and I think the company has helped. We have not made much progress, and we do think that the negotiation has to continue. The company has committed to continue the negotiations, but of course, in terms of the substantial issues, there's not been much movement, except to say that we've concretized and in great details presented what are possible solutions to the problems that may be faced by the workers, but also the issues of restructuring and factory closures.
Mr. Seibe, we saw over the last few weeks workers from Clover entering stores, taking Clover products off the shelves, also calling on consumers to boycott Clover products. What can we then expect heading into the new week from the unions, from workers, and all the other role players?
We are going to be intensifying. As I said earlier on, this is a harvesting party. The reality is that the main side of the struggle is in those particular malls. It's through those consumer boycott campaigns and so on. Tomorrow there is an NEC meeting of SAFTU. We are obviously going to be petitioning them to say what plans are they putting in place for escalation, for a national and global day of action, to say that on the basis of the support that we have received, an overwhelming support from our sister unions in SAFTU, but also beyond SAFTU. As I said, Sakau has said, what are the lists of Clover products that we must be boycotting? But also, Sakau, organizing in the retail sector, they want to be able to engage with their regional committees, their regional organizers, and say that these are our directives to our shop stewards, and we want to be able to say our stores, the stores that we organize, the retail shop that we organize, should not be stocking Clover products up until the time that there is a just resolution for the problems and the crisis in Clover on the basis of no to job losses, no to factory closures, no to austerity measures, and of course, Milko leaving Clover, and of course the country itself.
Mr. Seibe, thanks very much for your time this afternoon. So, only the update from the Department of Trade and Industry coming out that the unions affiliated and working alongside Clover will intensify their strike heading into the new week. With regards to Milko, as Mr. Seibe had mentioned, they're an Israeli-based company in charge of the bottling at Clover. They're obviously calling for their removal within the Clover department, especially, I think, given the political tensions that we would have normally seen between Israel and Palestine as well. From Clover's point of view, they say the reason for the change in structure at Clover, the main reason for that is due to the financial conditions, the tough financial conditions which we have seen over the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We will obviously be keeping tabs on what will be the developments heading into the new week. Kajee.